Okay, sweet. Thank you, Krista, for being here. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
dive right in like you just prompted me and just say your full name and then kind of start by giving like a little intro about like who you are at your like this moment in your life, kind of like what you
Yeah.
do, and then I'll kind of just quiz you from
Yeah.
there. Sound good?
Perfect. Yeah, let's do it. So I am Krista Rooney. I am a shamanic healing practitioner, transformation expert, and spiritual mentor. And I have From the Roots Up healing practice here locally. And I am getting ready to launch the Phoenix Healing Path, which is really exciting. I'm wrapping up my book. I'm wrapping up an app. I'm wrapping up all kinds of things because Fire Horse is coming in hot.
Yeah, literally, right?
Literally coming in hot. So yeah, so I got lots of things in the works. I'm really excited. Clients are going to be able to have a lot of different ways to connect with me than they have in the past. Um, so yeah, I'm really excited. I'm literally like, giddy up, let's go.
Right on. Okay, sweet. I mean,
Yeah.
we can talk about all those fun details later because
Yeah.
if it bother you, I'm like, tell me about your book, tell me about your app. But yeah, the reason I became like a therapist is, I'm not as much cool into the details and I'm more into like what makes people who they are.
Love it.
So, did
Yep.
you did you just like this is what I said to the last person. I was like, did you just
Yeah.
like pop out of the womb and just go, I'm gonna be shamanic healer. I'm gonna because
Hell no.
because the way people's lives normally go is I tend to find a
Yeah.
pattern and then I want for someone to like tell me they'll break the pattern and then I'll find someone who had a different path. But I tend to find
Yes.
that people have some kind of personal transformation, some kind of
Mhm.
personal crisis that they go through that makes them kind of like shift their life and then
Mhm.
go, okay, I feel like I have a calling in a new direction. Or something that happened to them where they go, if this can happen for me, I also feel like, I have a gift and I
Mhm.
want to
Mhm.
make this happen for other people.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that was more, the latter was more kind of my path where I grew up in the backwoods of Alaska, feral, no TV, in the woods, hunting, fishing, trapping, doing all these things off the land. And substance abuse is really prevalent in Alaska. It's cold and dark. And so I always like to say, unfortunately, but fortunately, I was really abused as a child. And where I find being fortunate in that is that has been my path. That is really what has led me here is understanding myself, not just the trauma, but the unconditioned, like the truth of who I am and who I want to be. Because I'd always known, like for me, it was always biology, like from womb, probably. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it was like biology, it was like science, like just observing, being outside and observing things was just really my medicine. Like if I didn't want to be at home, it wasn't safe at home. I'm looking at plants, I'm watching the animals, the birds, I'm in the lake, I'm in the river or the creek, like just completely being immersed in nature. So me understanding the frequency, vibration, the healing, just of just being in that space. And so fast forwarding, just having a lot of my own things in my 20s of weight loss, having I've lost over 130 pounds and just all the things that come along with that, having thyroid disease, having infertility issues, being told I couldn't have kids. So there was just a lot in my 20s. There was also my back. I was in a had walked with a cane, then I was in a wheelchair by the time I had my back fused. So for me, I feel like spirit was like, you need to heal. Like
Yeah.
there's like it was like this kind of like
Yeah.
shaking. I got to a point where my health was so bad that I really had no choice but to either accept that this is my path of just having back pain, inflammation, food sensitivities. There was so much. And it was honestly through a very kismet massage and meeting someone here locally that my path really started. I ended up then in a crystal shop. And then it was like, I met my mentor 12 years ago. And again, it was through my own personal healing journey, like seeking
Yeah.
healing for myself. Like this has never been about healing other people. I've been diagnosed with agoraphobia, a fear of people. So it's pretty funny. I feel that universe kind of put me in this position and spot, but I really feel like if little old me who comes from the backwoods in Alaska can like do this work, this deep transformational healing work, it's accessible. Like I really feel that healing is accessible to everyone. Maybe the modalities or maybe all of the things aren't accessible, but breath is accessible. Somatics, like just all these other things that I've just learned that worked for me. Really, it was like, gosh, if it works for me, I need to speak on this. And then God, universe, creator was like, yeah, you need to speak on this.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. So I almost feel like, I mean, and tell me if I'm wrong, that like you're at that point where you go, I'm gonna do anything I can to heal, to
Mhm.
transform myself, to, to be healthy. And you're just like, I'm just gonna try a bunch of stuff. Because you
Yep.
reach that point where you're like, I kind of don't really care what the theories are.
Yep.
Just want to see what works and makes me feel better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And so it was like that massage. I'd started there just to try to move some stuff in my body. My back was really tight because I had had my back fused. I had multiple back surgeries. And so it was just, and then the Ayurvedic cleanse. Honestly, that also completely shifted my, I didn't even know, I didn't know how to say it for a long time. I didn't know what it
Yeah.
was. I didn't anything, but again, in that desperation place. And doing the steps of Phoenix and that being like my main bulk of medicine that I provide to myself and my clients is we have to get to the place of surrender. Like we really have to get, not have to, but I really feel a lot of us get to that place, whether we have to or not, of it's me. Like I'm really the one that's holding myself back because no one can come and save me. Like
Mhm.
I think that for me, I just kind of had this victim mentality for a lot of my life because I was a victim. And it kind of then became something else when I was no longer victimized. And I really had to just realize again, no one was going to save me. There's no white knight. Like I am the white knight. Like I am the one that saves myself. And even if I clunk along, even if it doesn't go as fast as I want and it looks messy, it's at least moving me in a direction that the other kind of messiness was taking me into more messiness. This is like messiness to heal, being the muck, the lotus in the muck messiness, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I recently had a conversation about Lotus in the Muck, so that's really cool.
Yeah.
Man, okay, so there's a lot there. So you
Yeah.
brought up the whole, this surrender and,
Mhm.
not being a victim. And
Mhm.
I think, but isn't that an interesting paradox that
Yes.
the way that you gain control is through surrender? So it's like there's a part of you that's like kind of you get a little bit control out of staying the victim because
Yeah.
you get to kind of control that little bit of your life.
Mhm.
But then there's this point where you just go like total surrender of any identity. And
Yep.
and once again, it's almost like the surrender is just going, if I have to let go of everything that I believe in and everything I've been doing, I'm just open to whatever God has for me. That's gonna like I don't know what the future holds. I don't care where you're taking me, but just do something. Like I need to change.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
and then I
Yes.
think it's interesting because like you said, you have to surrender. And I thought that was so funny because you can't force people to do it because you'd be
Nope.
like, like having a like when spiders like they close up on you and you're scared, they're scared.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
can't poke them open. You're just gonna smash them. They're never gonna open unless they choose to surrender and open up to you.
Yes.
And that surrender is something you have to voluntarily do. You can never like with other people. There's some people where
Yeah.
like you push them into a corner and they just kind of keep backing in, and you just go, okay, reach a
Yes.
point where I'm like, are you gonna come out now? Because you're gonna do it of your own accord. Okay, I'm leaving, but
Right.
but
Right.
maybe yeah, go on, talk more about that.
Yeah. So, as you were talking, I wrote down a couple things, like two big things is one, I think that people underestimate the importance of nervous system regulation when we do this work. And
Hmm.
that's part of the surrender. Um, because I know for me, a lot of times clients come to me because they're in that surrender. They want to surrender, but they're gripping so tight
Yeah.
and they don't know how to let go because it feels comforting to be gripping. It feels safe because they feel like that's protection. And so a lot of the time I like to tell people, like, when I say 1 plus 1, like, what's 1 plus 1, Jesse? You're going to be like 2. That's not hard. But if I'm like, a bear is chasing you through the woods and I yell at you, Jesse, what's 1 plus 1? You're going to be like, what the frick are you talking about? This is not the
Shut up.
time, right? This is
That's
not the
not
time,
important.
right? It's
Yes.
like, and so I feel like a lot of the time people want to address mental emotional healing when the nervous system is not in a space that it can even process new information coming into the system.
Yep.
It's almost like the system gets to a point where it's just going so fast that it's just ricocheting off. Like it's great wisdom. They have all the tools. They know what they need to do. They have a great support system, whether it be a shaman, a therapist, whatever it is, and they're going to them in desperation. So they're doing an action, they're doing all the right things, and they have the support, but they're like, I'm not getting any movement. Like, I'm still just stuck in this place. A lot of the time, it's like, we got to back up. We have to create literal space in the system
Hmm.
for new information to come in and for
Yep.
us to be able to actually integrate it and process it and not just be like,
Yes.
this is a lot. And just like, I always like to see like clients will like blink, be blinking really fast. It's like, this is a lot of information. I'm trying to deflect it with my blinks, and then I'm like, okay, okay, let's
Yeah.
just go to breath. Like, let's just stand up and jump around. Let's just shake our body. And then we kind of go into maybe some somatics so we can maybe drop in a little bit more. Because
Yes.
I love therapy, talk therapy, doing work like this is moving energy. I love that. But again, like I really think that especially in our culture, moving our bodies, dancing, shaking, we condition ourselves out of it. It's inherent, it's primal, it's how we've always healed our bodies. Step number one is to we yell, scream, again, all of these things that we've been conditioned, we look stupid, we're afraid of looking stupid.
Yes.
And in reality, it's not stupid. Like it's actually necessary, especially to keep a really clean, regulated system. Um, so I feel like that is a really important part that integrating more as I dive deeper into my business and with clients and working with clients and myself, finding the value
Yeah.
with myself, especially with Fire Horse here. Like this is going to be a year for nervous system regulation on steroids
Yeah.
because the energy is just going to be like, let's go, 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 which can make it feel anxious, can bring up fear. Am I safe?
Right.
Whoa. So just,
So that makes me think too that like a theme that's been on my mind is
Mhm,
we as, healers or whatever, we
mhm,
have actually two different jobs, which is to notice when people need the calming down of that jangly nervous system and when they're
mhm,
overloaded. And
mhm.
it's pretty easy to like recognize those people.
Yes.
I've been there so much of my life. I know what it feels like. So I'm like, oh, phew, I know exactly what you need.
Yes.
You need to know when that person needs, because sometimes what'll happen is a person, like you were saying,
Mhm,
they've been given too much shit to do, too many things, too many theories and ideas, all the ways to fix themselves, and then they're just kind
mhm,
of overloaded, and it's something on like what I would call like on the unconscious level, or
mhm,
the body. The
mhm.
body would be like, I don't know, the same exact thing,
Yeah.
because the subconscious is really just everything that you're not currently aware of. It's kind of the stuff that's in the background, but it's most of you. It's most of who you are is that stuff. So you have to identify are the people needing to calm and like kind of vent out and open a space for themselves, or
Mhm,
who's the person who already has done that and
mhm,
doesn't necessarily need to get rid of the overload. And they're the person who's kind of already, done enough service nervous system regulation and
mhm,
they're like they've learned that lesson and they've gone through that path. But there's another step where
mhm.
they're ready for the fire horse, but they need someone to kind of just go, okay, now it's like we're not in like therapist mode, we're just in coach mode. You have to find out which role that they need. You're like, okay, you're good now.
Yes.
It's time to go for the marathon. You're ready.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. And being that cheerleader, right? Like, you got this.
Yeah.
You can do this. Let's go. You're strong. I get a lot of Leos in my business, and I'm like, yes. And I'm a Leo, so I'm like, yes, I can speak to that. Get you fire. Like, let's get it going. Let's stoke the flames. Like, um, yeah, but that is that kind of walk. And with our own lives too. Even for me, I'm like, oh, do I need like a mindset practice right now? Do I need a somatic nervous system practice right now? Am I clinging for all of them at the same time? Like, am I just
Yeah.
like in a space of desperation, which is okay. Sometimes we just have to try, like we just don't know. Um, but that's why for me it's just breath. Like my kids, I have three teenagers, like they know, like I call it ugly breathing. Like I'm like
Hey, we almost do that naturally when we're frustrated, though, don't we? We're just like, ah,
Exactly. Yes.
yeah.
Exactly.
We know exactly what
Yes.
we're doing.
Right. So that's where I love being the cheerleader, like being the coach, where I'm like, let's do some breathing, but I'm like, let's get weird, let's make it ugly, like why not? Why not? And see how you feel,
Mhm.
like just try.
It's
Um,
funny how many things in our lives actually are kind of forms of breathing, because I could say that laughter is a form of like some kind of weird, I don't know, it's like a fit of jiggly breathing. It's a very strange thing. And then exercise. I once had like a funny idea where I was like, what if exercise was just all about the breathing? You
yeah,
know what I mean? Or I was like,
yeah.
50% of it is just the fact that during cardio, it's just that intense breathing. Obviously, it's your heart like real pumping
Mm-hmm.
going
Mm-hmm.
on. That's what
Yep.
makes it cardio. But
Yes.
um, but what else was I gonna say about the oh, singing.
Oh
Singing
yeah.
is something where I, throughout my whole life, and it even like got me into music partially,
Mm-hmm.
found out how much better and like calm I would feel after singing, humming to
Mm-hmm.
myself,
Yeah.
because you're using so much breath when you sing that even recently I was trying to do like this like singing thing. So I tell myself I'm like I'm not doing a breathing exercise. I like the feeling of the actual like vibration in my head. It feels really
Nice.
good. But I'll have points where I'll be like almost out of breath and I'll be like, do I have like an issue? Do I need to like learn how to expand my lungs better? Because I was like, I'm getting lightheaded with this singing, but it feels really,
Mm-hmm.
really good.
Yep. Yep. And it's literally we're clearing out all this energy in our throat and our heart opens up. It's almost like then our crown opens up and it's almost like I mean we're connected to something bigger, especially with singing. I mean that's why chanting and all these other things are so throughout history. It's been huge and in my even indigenous culture. I mean like the drumming and singing, dancing, like those were medicine. Like those were the first forms of medicine, whether they realize it or not. It's frequency healing, vibrational healing, energy healing, which then it will affect your physical health, mental emotion, you know, like
Yeah.
affects all of it,
Yeah.
so I love that you said that singing is so amazing. I know for church, for me growing up, I went to every kind of denomination. Because again, being in an abused household, if someone was like, "You want to come to church with me?" I'm like, "Yes, yes." I don't care what kind it is, but I would love to go. So I think that's also been a beautiful thing for me now is I've been in all these different places of worship. And so now my idea is like is kind of more universal kind of thinking
Mhm.
and which is really exciting to me. It kind of gives us permission to connect in with what really resonates with who we are and what we believe in, so we can just believe even more and like
Yeah.
go even deeper. And it's just another tool that we have. For me, it's a safety kind of mechanism. I feel great knowing that there might be some kind of plan here.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that it's just not me and my humanness like willy-nilly in it and just being like, I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing, but I feel led and I feel guided. So um yeah, so for me, nervous system regulation, singing, especially when I was in church, like coming out of church, it was like, why do I feel so good?
Yes.
And it was like, I really do feel it was like this little light of mine. I still sing it with cacao ceremonies. Like, it's like, yeah, I learned it in church, but it's so non-denominational, this little light of mine, and it just makes me feel good.
Absolutely. I've had my own history with church I could get into.
Hmm.
And then
Hmm.
for a long time I would still, and to this day, replay music in my head. And then for a while I would go like, well, if you don't do that anymore, why should you like forget about the music? And then I had a part of me just go, absolutely not, because there's some kind of magic that you're tapping into, and I'm never gonna forget about that, and I gotta keep that going. I've had a thing where I would still think of the music, and I just will get like goosebumps on my skin. Something that like never happens to me. Like I don't often like I'm not the most somatic person in the world, so like when something I
Hmm.
feel, I just go, what is happening? There's something there that's extremely meaningful. And so I felt that I could just go with it, and I thought, okay, if when you're praying, you turn it into a song, It does
Mhm.
something where it like makes it like have a million times stronger impact.
Mhm.
I was like, what you were feeling is real. You're not making it up,
Mhm.
and go with it. Because I don't know if you've noticed that like if you take a word or just a prayer or whatever, and it's
Mhm.
something in your mind, an affirmation, and you
Yeah.
just kind of repeat it. It just kind of has this monotone, boring feeling to it. But you add, people talk about vibration and frequency, just up the yin yang all the time. And then I'm like, you know what? You're going to talk about resonation. That's what your
Yes.
voice is. And then you take that boring word, that boring prayer, whatever it is, and you add because you were saying it's your heart, and I was thinking, oh, that's interesting because that's
Yeah.
one of the things that you learn. Like, I was even thinking about when I first did like a vocal coaching. It was
Yeah.
almost like me learning about the throat chakra without knowing what it was because it became more open and expressive. It
Yeah.
would teach you about to resonate in your chest, you resonate in
Mhm.
your throat and in your head. And then I was already doing those kinds of things and learning. Anyway, I'm rambling now, but my whole point was that also when you're singing, it takes a little boldness, a little
Mhm.
bit of, you know what I mean? Because you know people are listening to it. So
Yep.
you kind of have to like face that feeling of like, can I be confident even if my singing is kind of half-ass and oh,
Mhm.
actually no one cares? Okay. So there's something that comes out of that. Oh
Yeah.
my God, where can we pivot though?
Yeah.
I'm
No,
trying to
I have
think.
actually something really great on that
Yeah,
exact
wonderful.
topic
Yeah.
is like prayer and the difference between when we think our prayers and when we speak our prayers.
Yes.
So for example, I was in Guatemala on one of these amazing journeys that I've done, and I was in deep prayer. So I'm outside, I'm on the grass, and I'm in the jungle, and I'm like, and I'm in my head, and I'm praying the most beautiful prayer, right? And I'm like, ego's kind of even starting to show up a little bit, like, dang, you are really going there today. Like, look at you, right? And I feel this, whether it was energetic but it felt like physical, where it was like, bam, this like, speak it. I want to hear it. I don't want it to be in your head.
Yeah.
I want to hear the resonance, just
Yeah.
like that word. Like when you said that, that was literally what, whether it be Mother Earth, God, universe, creator, I don't know, doesn't matter to me. But it was about the potency of taking it. If we can manifest just from thoughts, like imagine if we take those thoughts and we create them into actual frequency and vibration to then carry out into ripples, waves, tsunamis of
Yeah.
whatever it is. And that was a really big changing moment for me because in that part of my journey everything was really internal. I was
Yeah.
like a little baby. I didn't want to look weird because I was already doing really weird stuff in this new woo woo world. So
Mhm.
it was like little steps, and this was a big like just just do it if you want to connect with me, like do it. And then that prayer turned into song, and pretty soon this inside internal prayer that I'm like, oh yeah, you're doing so good, is just reverence. It's just tears. It's just that resonance in my throat connected with the resonance of my heart, and pretty soon I have tears. and
Yeah.
and then it really turned into something so much more potent than keeping it in this little space here, when we can bring it in, this energy and power of our voice to really project, and then the frequency of our heart that's literally boom, boom, boom. And
Yes.
when those two can come together and it really directs that energy, this is literally how we change the frequency and vibration of the world. When clients, especially right now, everyone is losing it on different levels, rightfully so. But when it's like, what do I do? What do I do, Krista? Oh my gosh, what do I do? And I remember in my trainings, me getting to this place too, where you start to see everything's connected. And it's like, oh, I can't even kill a bug. Like, oh my gosh, like, rocks have feelings. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, how
yeah.
do I, how do I navigate the world, right? And and then it's like, oh my God, there's so much more love needed. We need so much more love out there, but I'm just me. What do I do? And my mentor looks at me and she goes, Krista, if you want more love in this world, be more loving.
Absolutely.
It's not about finding it externally. It's about magnifying that frequency and vibration within yourself. And that was what I felt like mother, father, whoever it was that was like, boom, speak it. It was like, that's how we create ripples of change, is these conversations, you and I having these conversations right now, using our voice
Yeah.
to come in this way that we're collaborating, we're connecting. There is this element of love and light because it's truth and we're both being authentic. And so it's like, just be you, and all these hippie 70s things, like, just it's the vibration and it's love and
Yeah.
light and it's like all these things. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, it's really that simple. Like, it's really that simple.
Yeah.
um
There's so much symbolism there. I'm just gonna keep riffing on the same shit. Okay,
yeah, yeah.
is that there's also the harmony of the
Hmm.
multiple voices. So if my voice is a little bit different from yours,
Yes.
totally fine, because then what happens is you speak your voice out there, I speak as like you chanting and I'm doing a callback, and then I'm joining it in, and there's a rhythm there. If
Hmm.
you just keep it inside, then your whole little world is just kind of like spinning around in your head, and that the voice is the thing that connects what's inside of us with the outside world. It's like that
Hmm.
bridge
Hmm. hmm
because I can't necessarily like read your mind, but when you
hmm
begin to speak to me, then you
hmm
start to share. Then thoughts begin to fill my mind based on the voice. You know what I mean? So it's like this bridge
Absolutely.
between two worlds.
Hmm.
How else am I gonna
hmm
know? I can maybe feel like from a distance. When I'm close, maybe I feel it better.
Yeah.
Touching and then maybe looking, I'm picking things up.
Hmm.
But I've had times where I just am on the phone with someone and then I just hear their voice and then I was like, I don't know if I really need to see their face anymore because I'm getting so much information. Like someone's voice, I can hear the anxiety in their voice,
Yes.
or I just think that it's really like people's innocence and their rawness is in their voice. Their personality is like so
Mhm.
much carried through it that's why sometimes when I read what somebody has written, I just go, "Can you just say it, please? I want to hear you say it." And then I go, "Oh, now I know. Okay, now I'm getting what you were coming from. I got the vibe now."
Yes. Yes, I love that. And that's even like our own, like for me, when I say like living our own truth, it's actually our own frequency and vibration. So, so for me, I have a biology and biochemistry background. Like that's my collegiate like degree or whatever.
Yeah,
Science, the science of energy, frequency, like all of this, like is so incredible to me. How our body can heal itself is so incredible to me. And doing energetic healing, especially on myself, but on clients, understanding what is happening is I'm not doing anything other
yeah,
than calibrating their frequency to mine, and my understanding of what the hell's happening, because I still don't
yeah,
really know. But at the
yeah,
same time, that's what I'm sensing within myself, and that's my concept, is that I'm just opening my channel and my personal frequency that then can take their frequency, even if it's too high or it's lower than mine. I can find a way to kind of bring it down, bring it back up by me shifting my own frequency and vibration and energy, right? So that is huge, I feel, and people understanding healing on a scientific level, that this isn't woo woo, this isn't cerebral. Yes, it is, but it is actually really tangible. If I had gauges on me when I'm doing my work,
yeah,
which I hopefully one day will get there, I really want to see scientifically like what is happening when we do these energy healing sessions with clients, because it's not just doing energy work with my hands, it is with our voice, and it
yeah,
is in that sort of way. So talk therapy and hypnotists, I mean, that is, it's frequency and vibration. It's
yeah,
delivering it in a way that when it's received by the other person, that it starts to do things in the brain so that you're able to do what you do so beautifully. And but that's really what our voice is doing. That's really what we're doing. And when we can really understand the potency of our words, again, it's being more careful with our words. I think now when everything's typed online and we lose that actual frequency exchange of coming through the voice, people wouldn't say things that they say typed. They would
absolutely.
never say to someone's face. And so I kind of got geeked out and going in the rabbit hole like, why? What is that?
Yeah,
What is that? Why do they feel they have the permission to type things that they would never say? And it's because when you say it, there's this frequency and vibration. There's almost this higher level of authority, or you feel it differently. It lands differently. You get the empathy kind of with it,
yeah,
of even if it comes across like in text or in words, like da 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 da. When in reality, if I said it, I probably wouldn't say it in that tone, and it would be perceived and received in a completely different way. So
Yeah, and then when
it's
it's almost like you're having one disembodied person arguing with another disembodied person. And it's
yes,
because we're disembodied that we don't really see you as a person. It's just like a bunch of ideas fighting. And people will go, "Oh, this app is filled with a bunch of bots." And then I'm like,
hmm
even the humans are bots because when they interact, they become robot-like when they're talking.
yep,
And they just and I even think it's like you start to feel like you're in a video game,
hmm
like
hmm
you're fighting like a character at that point. And we
yes,
even reached that point where people start calling each other characters because we're just so
yes,
disembodied and
yep,
split off. I've often said
hmm
this funny thing where like this happens to me, you get really pissed off at someone on like the freeway or something, and then
hmm
you're
hmm
like I'll be yelling at them in my car, and it's like, what is wrong with you? And then sometimes I go like, okay, what if I had like given that person the finger, or if I had like cut them off in like a dangerous way? But then I often have this like funny scenario where like then you both start like getting in the same lane and head in the same
hmm
direction, and then you both are in the same parking lot, and then you park next to each other, and then you both have to go in the grocery store, and then it would just be like, oh yeah, that's just like a little lady or whatever. And then you're like, oh, she's so sweet. And once you meet her, do you know what I mean? Like, and everyone's just
Totally.
living out their lives, and probably someone's yelling at me out there. But then
Right.
you go, okay, that's not just a car that cut me off. It's like
hmm
a human being.
That's right. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's where having like this is so valuable. Like I can't even tell like podcasts and like even speaking and using social media it can absolutely be a tool because same as with these other frequencies we can be spreading these beautiful love light frequencies too, but I think it's more the speaking of it, which I'm working on. I probably should speak more on my stuff, but but I think that's we learn, right? We get
Yeah.
better and we get out there and we do that. And but yeah, I think especially when it's hard to tell when someone's internal, but soon as someone starts talking, we can sense authenticity. We can
Absolutely.
start to really sense what's really going on. And even for me, and like, why am I writing this book? Why am I doing all these things with my business right now? Spirit said, like, hands-on healing, like, be doing one-offs is it's just one at a time. And
Hmm.
Spirit literally told me you are going to be using your drum and your voice from now on for frequency and energy healing, still having one-on-one clients, but it was a big like, whoa, like sister circle isn't necessarily it's us talking together.
Yeah.
It's serving in that sort of way where there's 13 of us in a circle, and each time a woman speaks their own truth, their own frequency and vibration, and we all receive it, it's like, wow, her truth is my truth. Wow, I see that reflection in her. I might not be experiencing it now or ever, but I can hear the truth. I can hear the sincerity. I can hear the authenticity in what she's sharing with me right now. And that is the beauty when we circle up. That's the beauty with community, whether it be one on one in this sort of way or having these larger community events of
Mhm.
my husband doing men's circles, doing women's circles, sister circles. I am loving like this new way of communing in a real intentional sort of way, in creating what spirits told me is not creating community anymore, it's creating sacred community, like community that has such clear intention, like this is what we're gathering for. We are really gathering to connect in a way that we aren't able to in all these other spaces that we're floating in and out of all day every day, work, social media, all these other ways. But when we come together in these really, really intentional spaces, I really feel like that's when people really feel loved. They really feel held. They really feel accepted. And I feel like that's a lot of what people are just really looking for, especially with all the stuff going on right now. People just want to know their brother's accepted, their neighbor, their them, that they're safe. Um, so yeah, so having all these community spaces, all this frequency, this vibration, like I am just so excited that we're starting to have these conversations. Nervous system regulation, energy healing, energy medicine. When I
Hmm.
started this 12 years ago, nobody said these things. These were not the normal average Joe conversations. And for now the average Joe, like my husband, who's a general contractor, he comes home and he's like, I need to do some nervous system regulation after my long day. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah. It's amazing how mainstream some of these things that felt so niche and obscure, like something that was like your own like private hobby, and you're like, I'm not gonna tell anyone about this. And then it reached a point, yeah, it's like 10 years later, everyone's talking about the weird health things I was into a long time ago. And then I have to like let the little contrarian rebel in me not go like, I don't wonder if I don't care anymore, because like I
Right,
did my job and I'm like, no, no. It's okay. If people are late to the game, they're still doing the right thing. I've
right.
often had this rule in my life. If someone does the right thing a little too late, congratulate them. Because
Yep.
literally timing doesn't matter. You could always have done something sooner. Do you know what
Mhm.
I mean?
Yep.
Like the
Yep.
whole it was when someone like apologizes and like you could have apologized yesterday and then instead of saying like thank you very much for your apology accepted.
Yes. Yes. I love that. That's so true. Absolutely. No time like the present. Like we
Absolutely.
say, if not now, when, and if not who, if not you, who,
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Okay, so maybe I'll start pivoting into some details now. So I want to think
Yeah.
like now I got a little bit of a feel for your personality. Let's
Hmm.
say like if I was gonna be your client and then I were gonna be like looking you up
Hmm.
and like how do you go about talking to me as client and
Hmm.
like assessing what it is that I need and then like what kind of stuff do you do?
Oh, okay. So that's exciting. If someone wants to come to me, honestly, I don't advertise a lot. So it's really interesting when people find me. I'm always like, how did you find me?
Okay.
I have a website, I have Google, I have all the things. But um, but I really feel that when someone comes to me, they are usually in a space of feeling constricted or lost or stifled. A lot of the time, the best way I can describe it is it's like they're stuck in a snakeskin. They feel their world and their life has come in really small, even if their life is good. They're a lot of time they're like, everything's good, but why does it feel like everything's constricted? And as we do this healing work in our energy, right, we're healing it and we're pushing it out, we're healing it and we're pushing it out. And it kind of starts to meet the rest of the world, and we get this crust. And it literally feels like I have people, they're like, do I even have feelings anymore? I don't even know if
Yeah.
I'm feeling anything. Like
Yeah.
nothing's coming in or out right now. And so for me, I usually talk. Usually, and honestly, if someone were to schedule like a full shamanic healing session, what does that look like? It's 3 hours long. Yes, 3 hours. Because there's no quick here. By the time someone gets to me, we're usually got a deep dive into something.
Hmm.
And usually they don't know what it is, or someone will be like, again, my life is great. It's not until we get energy moving, the first hour is talking. It's just what brought you here, like, and pretty soon it's bringing stuff to the surface, and they are even surprised, like, what's going on. And that's through my training on what we talk about and different things. And I'm scanning, tracking eye movements and breath and where words catch. I'm looking at pulse if I can. There's just a lot of different things that I'm kind of scanning and reading for authenticity, vulnerability, like where is it coming up? Oh, they keep catching in their throat. There's probably work that needs to be done here. They're talking about a heavy heart. I probably need to probably work with that energy center. So by the time we do that talking, we get on the table, and then I do what I do, which is like bells, smudge, all these other things that help move the energy that needs to be moved. And usually and then I do frequency healing after that. So I have this beautiful bed technology that does biohacking of the brain. And so you lay on a bed that plays certain frequencies. It feels like you're getting a little massage vibration.
Hmm.
And then through the headset, it has literal frequencies and vibrations cued to different parts of the brain. So if a client comes in, maybe they're struggling with depression, I can put on a meditation that specifically addresses the parts of the brain that deal with depression or like bringing them out of depression, whatever it is. So, so that's really the bulk of what I do, like one-on-one with
Yeah.
clients, but really the bulk is sharing my story. I think that that's really, people really can relate to me. I think that's really the big thing, like coming from abuse and infertility and weight loss. And I've been married for 22 years, but then my husband was an alcoholic and now he's been in recovery for 5 years. Being, I kind of feel like I've kind of gone through every trauma.
Yeah.
I'm not calling any anymore. I haven't experienced. Um, but so when someone sits in front of me, also having my gifts of empathy and my gifts that I just have, um, being able to, I don't know, just sense things and move things and know things and trust that it's not coming from me. Like this is an ego.
Yes.
This isn't Krista driving the machine. And just knowing that again, there is absolutely there's guides that show up. I hear voices that are very direct. I know things that I would not know about someone sitting in front of me. So it validates and confirms not just for them, but it's so potent for me to understand that the work is being done and I'm just me. Like I think this is what
Yeah.
blows my mind. I'm just like me. I don't know how I know. Like I don't. I don't want to know. I want to always be like a child. I want this world to always be like, wow, I don't know how this works,
Hmm.
but it works. Like something's happening on some level and and playing. I think that's a lot of it. With tarot cards, with practices, with tools. The universe has a sense of humor. I've never been more sure of that in
Oh
my
yeah.
life.
I've a lot of the times, even though this stuff can be very deep and serious, I just feel like I'm being made fun of a lot of the time. It's like a joke that's on me. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but I know this is some kind of cosmic joke. And I'm with you. God, I heard the message.
There's so many times where I don't know if you know the old show Candid Camera,
Oh
where I'm
yeah,
just like, is there like, am I on Candid Camera? Am I being punked right now? Like somebody's laughing somewhere at me at
absolutely.
my expense. Like for sure. But it's so great. We need that lightness when things are so heavy because that's the literal light at the end of the tunnel. For me, that's the reminder that we can do serious, hard, crazy things, but there is this level of like feather, like the heart needs to be as light of as a feather while we do this work, and yeah. And I always
I
tell
like
people,
that you
especially
said
this,
that because you just
especially,
talked about people having a heavy heart, and then you just said heart as light as a feather. Okay, hey, could not get more opposite. I like that.
yep, absolutely. And that's the paradox. That's literally the paradox. I have a friend who had a near death experience. He went to the other side. And in his experience, how he interpreted it is it was just this big white light, and there was this being there. And this being said, do you want to go back or do you want to stay here? And he's someone that has always wanted to go back to the other side, even though he likes Earth, he accepts that he's on Earth. But he was really like, I want to stay, I don't want to go back. And they're like, but you have to go back. And he's like, but you gave me the choice. And they're like, I know. And he goes, so then if I get the choice, I want to stay. And they go, but you can't stay. You need to go back. And they're doing this back and forth.
Oh
And
my
he's like,
God.
I don't know what the hell is going on. They're telling me I have free will and I have choice, but they're also telling me that I have to go back. And finally he goes, I don't understand. You have to explain this to me. And this being literally says to him, it's all a paradox. And he said in that moment he doesn't know what he understood. He doesn't know what happened, but he goes, okay, I'll go back. And then he realizes he was back in his body. And then he comes back into his body and he realizes how incredibly challenging it was to be back in his human body because those few minutes he was in this space, he said, I could just think and I was there. I didn't have these constraints of the human body. He said the hardest part when he came back was one, knowing it's all a paradox. And two, is trying to just learn how to walk again and not get so incredibly frustrated that it took so much energy and effort just
Yeah.
to walk from here to there. um, and it was just really validating for me the things that I'd experienced where I'm like, is this a joke? Like
Yeah.
heavy heart, but with a light heart, like all of these like very oxymoron, like how am I embodying both of these things at the same time? And then there's someone going, yeah, haha, figure that one out. And we're gonna
Well, yeah,
watch
because that's
you.
what's cool is that a paradox is beyond logic.
Yep.
The more you think about it, the less you understand. So then it comes back to a feeling of surrender to some kind of higher level of truth that's above a human brain. It's above that kind of
Love that.
processing,
Yeah.
and that
Mm.
and that the heart can understand
Yep.
because it just feels
Yeah.
it doesn't because it's almost like something trying to like make a puzzle and it's like it's not a
Yep.
puzzle piece and it's like how does it fit and like it's never gonna fit. It's two things that just somehow are different
Yep.
shapes and just coexisting.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've often think that like life is a paradox because it's that holding that something can be the opposite of itself at the same time, and that you can almost I've heard someone say before they're like, I don't know, a definition of genius is being able to hold two contradictory ideas in your mind at the same time without your brain breaking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To maybe think that to not have to like solve something and have it go, which one is it? Is it this or is it this? Is
Right.
it this or is it this? And
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
you reach a point of understanding that you go, oh, the whole world is it's all about being in the middle of like this balance
Mm-hmm.
of that everything is polarity
Yep.
and that you kind of it's almost like sometimes people have a tendency to want to end the polarity and just go, can we no longer have that one
Yeah.
end and we just live in a blissful utopia forever and ever? And then you just realize, okay, that the blissful utopia without the opposite would be completely meaningless. There would be no point anymore. Um, or I've heard this thing where someone said, like, imagine if you lived in your perfect heaven.
Mm-hmm.
You'd get so bored that you'd go, I want to do something challenging again. Create a world where it's challenging, but I don't want to remember that I did this. So make me forget that I was ever here in this heaven, and
Mm-hmm.
then make me forget about and all of this stuff. Make me forget where I came from. I'll kind of
Mm-hmm.
start over. I'll have to learn to walk again,
Yep.
you know, and then and then that's where we are right now. And
Yeah.
we totally forgot that we like have been here before and that
Yep.
we've solved all the problems, but we came back already and we're like, I want to go, let's go back to that little body and we're gonna go figure some shit out again.
Yep. I really do feel that my soul chose this particular time for this literal year. Like the stuff that's happening right now, I really feel that I am a warrior of the light and that I am here to be a beacon of love during a time where the world, and this is also called in Caro culture, Peruvian, the Caros believe that this is a time called Pachacuti, where the time where the world is going to turn back up on end. And some people always thought that that prophecy was that it was like Armageddon when it flipped. But
Yeah.
I really feel we've been in like the purgatory part of the earth history. And I really, really, truly, within the deepest part of my heart, know that this is the flipping and the turning of the age of love, light, awareness. It doesn't mean that all these other things no longer exist, but we are being confronted in a way right now that horrific things worse than we ever thought imaginable from humans is actively happening in real time and has been for a long time. And to me, it's the snake's finally rearing its head so we can cut it off. Like, this is really what's needed to happen because it's a lot harder to fight these things when they're hidden. And I really feel that's the beauty, if you will, in the muck, the lotus in the muck of where we
Yeah.
are in history, is that I'm seeing just last year the dichotomy of political separation, which is still there, but I see it inching kind of starting to go, oh, we're all humans. Oh, this divide is imaginary. Like this is where we're supposed to be. That, and I do see this moving into from the extremes into the more aligned truth of who we are as a country, as a world, as humans. Um, and I feel like I have more hope than I ever have in my 46 years of being alive,
Yeah.
that we finally have the opportunity to slay some of these beasts. And it doesn't mean people necessarily,
Yeah.
but the energies of these things that are being done. And how do we counteract it? And I'll tell you what, it's not to be afraid right now. Yes, be angry. Be angry, be activated in your anger to do something and not be complacent. But not hostile,
Yeah.
right? There's like that difference. There's that thread that we need to walk in this, that anger is something inherent. It's not inherently bad. It's just bringing something into our awareness. Like a boundary has been crossed. And so we're pissed. Our boundaries have been crossed as humans. We were like,
Mhm.
wait a minute, we didn't consent to this. This isn't okay. And now I can look and we're looking over at no one is no, it's harder to find an enemy now if they're just a good old hardworking person that just wants to raise their family that isn't partaking in some of the things that are happening right now.
I got
You
you.
know,
Yeah. I like that you
to where we,
said you've never been more hopeful. And
mm-hmm,
I think that I go, well, it could be that you're in a position to give hope,
mm-hmm,
and it
mm-hmm,
has to come from inside of you.
mm-hmm,
So maybe
mm-hmm,
someone else would go like, I don't understand you. What do you mean? How could you be hopeful?
mm-hmm.
But you're meant to carry that for other people.
Yep.
So maybe that's one of your roles in this world
Mm-hmm,
is to
mm-hmm.
give hope to those who don't have it.
That's right.
So you have to kind of like it's like a torch that you carry and then you pass it
Yes.
along to other
Yep.
people. They
Absolutely.
see it as crazy and then we maybe
Yes.
you'll go it's my role to have hope exactly when other people don't have any at all. That's the
Yep.
paradox.
Yep. 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 And that's absolutely it. That is absolutely it. And honestly, that is the paradox of being a healer or being someone that I know I am more, not more, but that light that literally that I love that you that's nail on the head. Like I feel like I have the light and a torch. Not only am I the light, but it's a beacon. It is literally
Yeah.
like it's safe. Like I'm gonna be the one that trudges first so that you can then come behind me. And that has been even me being in this healing community as long as I have for 12 years. I am someone that has been in this area doing this work longer than most people have. And what I have found when I reflect back on the over a decade of being here is that has kind of been my role. Like there was no moon ceremonies. So then I started doing them and then other people started doing them. And I'm like, sweet, I don't have to do them
Yeah.
anymore. Other people are doing them, you know? And it was like, everyone, I was making drums and doing drum workshops, everybody drums. And like, Krista, where do we play our drums? Where's the drum circles? And I was like, okay, I'll do some drum circles on top of everything else, you know, and I'm doing them. And then beautiful D messages me and she's like, I'm thinking about doing drum circles. I'm like, yes, please do drum circles, you know, but I think it's me just being the one to go out and my Leo fiery self that's like, I'm already weird. Like, who cares, you know, let's just do
Yeah.
it. Um, and being like, yeah, if I learn this thing in my world travels, that's my job. That was literally what I saw as my gift was that there was this globe and I was kind of this giant with this pouch, and I was collecting all these lights from all over the globe. And it was like all these healing modalities, all of these wisdom teachings, and putting them in my pouch and bringing them back here locally to then for the people who can't travel and they can't go and learn these things,
Yeah.
boots on the ground, so that I can share my personal experience and bring that light and those wisdom teachings back here to the Central Coast. And so that is what I feel has been a beautiful part of me being in the community in the way that I have and seeing now other people without me coming first with this new kind of offering, seeing other people bringing it in. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's exciting, you know, like the Basie
Yeah.
Bliss and like all of these other things going on that I'm just like, yes,
Oh
yes.
yeah.
Give ourselves permission to get weird, to get woo woo, to get whatever it is that it is that we need right now, to be different. We need those of us that are those way showers that have the light or are the light or however it works are the beacons. But I think it's really as humans we wait for permission, especially as adults. We're like, where's the other parent that's like, where's the adult that's more adulting than me that is going to come and boot me and say, yes, you can go and do this. It it's not gonna it's just not gonna happen. So we look for other people, usually our peers,
Yep.
that are taking that first step. And it's like, oh, they didn't die. Like maybe if I take that step, I'm not going to die too. Maybe it's
Exactly.
not so terrifying. Um, and but it's a level of responsibility. And at this point, I really carry it like with so much honor and reverence. That I am the beacon. Sometimes I'm like, huh, did somebody else do it?
Nah.
I'm kind of getting a little,
Nah. Too
but
bad. Yeah.
right?
When
Yep.
you were talking about that, I just imagined like my own like new role as father and how a lot of this like whenever I'm doing in my life, I start reflecting on the world. kind of based on what's going on in my life. So it's all like a mirror. So I started thinking of everything in terms of like parenthood and fatherhood, because then I go, I'm the father of my son.
Hmm.
He's not my father. There's no, I mean, other than my own father, there's no person to look to go, what do I do? Like, I'm in that role now. Like, so until you become a father, it's like roles suddenly flip. That I've always been the son to a father, and then suddenly,
Hmm.
boom, I'm now the father to a son. And everything in my life has this like different perspective. And then imagine because I was thinking of you like starting these things and other people picking up on them,
Yeah.
is that I'm gonna have to teach my son all these different things. And imagine if like he picked up on a skill of mine and I were to get jealous and I'd be like, no, that's my thing. You can't do that.
Right.
That would be the
Right.
wrong attitude completely. I'm like, no, no, no.
Totally.
The whole point is for him to be better than me, more successful, smarter than me, like to have the joy in watching something else grow.
Hmm.
That's really positive attitude.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this may be because, being parents, and I kind of do feel that way. Like I'm only 46, but I kind of feel a little bit like the elder,
Yeah.
like, and I love that feeling. It feels great to me to know that the path that I've trudged and I've walked and I've fallen on my face and picked myself back up and done all of these things, that it's giving other people confidence and strength to go farther than me, like to do even more. Like that's my only hope for my kids, is like for them to do even more with whatever foundations are being laid right now than I could possibly imagine. Like, and I think that that's the exciting thing, is as we look at, like especially when we become parents, I mean, there's no guidebook and each child is different. So as soon as you think you got it figured out,
Yeah.
right? Or they move on to a whole new phase. Soon as you get all the things up high enough because they're crawling and you're like, okay, move everything up. And then they're standing and then you got to move everything up again. And then they're climbing and then you got to move it up even higher, and it's that ascension kind of, helping people ascend, helping our children ascend. And um and just kind of being in the acceptance that we are the parent, we are the leader, we are whatever that is in that moment, that role and label that we're choosing, and taking it on with honor, like with gratitude, that there's somebody that's willing to be the one in the front, because I had someone in the front. I had my mentor in the front showing me the way, even though she's not here locally anymore. um, we always have someone that's ushering us, um, even if it's not someone here in the physical realm.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, we're kind of running out of time, so I'm thinking anything that you want to mention before, because I wanted to go into a whole long thing about your book and stuff. But maybe you could just
Yeah.
do a few minutes on that. Like,
Mhm.
tell me more about how that is going.
Yeah. So my book is gonna be not just about healing modalities, the seven directions, Peruvian seven directions of Phoenix healing, which the seven steps of healing with Phoenix actually came to me when I was dying on the Amazon jungle floor, after taking some frog medicine that is not psychoactive. It is not psychedelic. It is meant to just be a nice little detox after an hour, 24 hours later, because I was afraid. I was afraid to purge. It was
Yeah.
such a huge moment for me. I didn't want to throw up in front of anyone. I didn't want to get all sweaty, even though the medicine is in my body and it
Mm-hmm.
needs to come out of my body. And it was a big lesson in something that's medicine turned into poison, because I wasn't utilizing it as medicine. I was in fear and afraid. So 24 hours later, I was disoriented. And the rest of the people in the group, they all went out hunting, and I was left there with the women, the chief's wife and the women, and we didn't really interact a lot. And so they walked into the Maloka, the hut. They had machetes in their hand, 2 liter bottles of empty 2 liter bottles of soda. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Full surrender. Talk about surrender. I was like, oh shit, here we go. I want an adventure. Here we go. And they cut the tops off of the 2 liter bottles. They set them right in front of me. the chief's wife has this elixir. It was like an Indiana Jones moment, this red elixir inside this bowl. And I'm
Mhm.
like freaking the freak out. And I'm like, I have nothing else to lose. Tell my family I died happy in the jungle. And
Yeah.
so I drink it and immediately purge. Like I had no choice. And I fill up all of those 4 bottles of 2 liter, empty 2 liter bottles. And I'm sitting there kind of as someone would, like, what the hell? Woo, 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 woo. That was a lot. They lay their hands on me. They start to pray. I'm just sobbing. I just feel I'm being held by the most loving mother I've ever been held by in my life. And I turn to my right, and the ground opens up, and this phoenix just comes out of the ground, and it's just above me with its wings, just like, and it said, "You are the phoenix. Rise with the power of fire and transformation." And I was like, and then right in front of me, it was almost like a neon sign or comic strip book. It was the 7 steps of healing with Phoenix. Boom, 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 boom. And this happened like 6 years ago. And I have been carrying it really close and really personally for the last 6 years. And so now in this book, it's not only the 7 steps of healing with Phoenix, it's also my autobiography. So that is really, I feel the bulk of the medicine is my story. It's me. It's not these other modalities and tools. You can learn
Yeah.
those things other places. But the things I work with the clients, crystals, frequencies, all these things is kind of be a little guidebook, little quick little cheat sheet on there. But the bulk of the book is my autobiography. And
Good, because people want to hear a story. We love
yeah,
stories. So if you
yeah.
just give people like a theory and a set of
Mhm.
steps, that's great. But then also
Yeah.
has to be like demonstrated in a lived experience
Yes,
of something.
absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what everyone has told me my whole life, to write a story. Like I'm telling you what, you guys, like seriously, anybody who reads this book, I'm putting it all out there. My freak flag is flying. I'm telling stories about aliens coming in my room in Shasta. I mean, I'm talking, this isn't just about a traumatic childhood. My
Yeah.
life has been absolutely limitless in magic and in all of the things. And being able to put it all down in a book for people, it feels incredibly vulnerable, especially the stuff about my trauma and my childhood. Um, but at the same time, being brave enough to share, it's one of those things, being the light, being the one in the front, showing other people that this is scary. Like I'm going to get emotional. Like this is really scary and it's really personal and it feels very vulnerable, but it's not going to kill me. Publishing a book isn't going to kill me, even though it feels sometimes like, oh my gosh, everyone's just going to see me. It's going to be like I'm naked.
Oh
Like
yeah.
there's nothing to
You just
hide
have to think
behind.
of like all of the like the gnarly, crazy books, memoirs that are out there. And all you ever feel when you see it is you just go, wow, that's amazing. I'm so inspired by that. You never go, what a weirdo. Oh man, I don't want to talk to that. But you just go, oh man, that's like so brave, so cool. I should do something like that. All it ever does is inspire the right people. So that's what you're
Thank
gonna
you.
do.
Thank you. Thank you. That's the only intention in it. The only intention is to let people know that there's hope, that if I can be here still kicking and doing all the things after everything that I've experienced, that
Yeah,
we all can do it. We
right
can all
on.
do this.
Hey, is that coming out soonish or what?
I'm finishing it up with the editor right now. So it'll be for sure this year.
Yeah.
It's been a year in the making. So it'll be soon. Yeah. So it's being handed off to a publisher. I was told by the end of March. So
Right
exciting.
on. A little bit after springtime, you can get a book coming
Yes.
out.
And
Sweet.
there is so much coming up in March. Just with me and my business. So I keep teasing everybody and everyone's keeps texting me like, stop teasing. Give
Yeah.
me a date. Give me something. I need more. I need more. So
Teasing
I'm
works,
having a little
man.
bit of fun,
Absolutely.
and just playing and teasing right now. But yeah, I am developing an app. The word has gotten out. And that's gonna have an online community. I'm gonna have quizzes on there. I'm gonna have programs I'm developing. I think I'm hoping that I'll have all 11 programs launched, from manifestation to animal guides, connecting with animal guides, to the Phoenix stuff. I mean, all the stuff. I'm literally taking it all and presenting it to the whole world. So there'll be free content on there, there'll be paid content on there. There's going to be just all the things.
Right on. Okay,
Yeah.
good teaser. Maybe you'll have to come back and kind of like tell us more stuff you've been teasing and
Yeah.
so much stuff we could go into. And then I'm like I want to be like, can you tell me what the 7 steps are? But I'm gonna tease that to my audience, and I don't know, maybe I have to
Yeah.
come back and listen to more from Krista.
Yeah. I would love that.
So yeah, absolutely. This was great. Thank you for being here. Thank you for this was kind of like my first almost like intro to you really, and then I
Yeah.
really like your vibe and like now I'm all like want to learn more, and I'm like, oh, let's
Yes.
get some frequency healing
Yeah.
going on here. So yeah, I really respect what you're doing, and I really like anyone who just has like pure intentions for our community.
Mhm.
Um, because I mean, it could be for the whole world, but really lately I've just been going, okay, I'm a tree planted in San Luis, you know, whether I want to be or not. This is this is where I am. Start
Perfect.
finding out who the good people are in your area and start
Hmm.
talking to them. So
Yep.
anyway, thank you for
Yeah.
being here very much, and that's gonna be it for the
Yeah.
day. Thank
Well,
you.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for inviting me and have a wonderful Sunday.
You too.
All right. Bye.